Good evening, members of the commission. It's my pleasure to be representing Edge Rock tonight. For the record, my name is Jim Ake. I reside at 543 Potomac Court, Westfield, Indiana. With us tonight is Bert Dalton, the petitioner, along with a representative from David Weekly Homes, Mike Lukey, and we also have our architect present with us tonight. Tonight, we are seeking your positive recommendation to the City Council for docket number 2103 PUD 10, ordinance 2110, requesting a rezone of approximately 157 acres. We were last before you on Tuesday, February 16th, at which time we received helpful comments from you and also city council members, which we appreciated. As well as, and based on that input, we felt it was necessary to take a little more time, to review these comments rather than rush through them. We made the choice to defer to tonight, and I will give you the highlights of those changes, which was summarized by Dane, the staff, and I will go into that momentarily. As you look at this PUD, it aligns perfectly with the vision for the Family Sports Capital Addendums 1 and 2 of our comprehensive plan. As a review, our project falls within this well-defined area identified as being south of 196th Street, east of Spring Mill Road, north of 32, and west of 31. It is not only the right place, but meets the goal and vision of the Westfield, Washington Comp Plan. The goal, as stated, is to pursue economic development, opportunities to capitalize on Westfield's already developing intergenerational sports niche, and examples of this are: 1, multiple championship quality sports facilities. We have that in the plan. 2, complementary health, recreational, and technology related land uses. We also have that in our plan. 3, supporting entertainment, dining, and lodging land uses, which we also have in the plan. And 4th, other uses which would support and complement the Westfield intergenerational sports initiative. And we have that. We match these goals. Then there's also a vision. In addition to the sports-related uses within the sports campus, it is anticipated that other related and supporting land uses will be located within, adjacent to, and nearby the sports campus. Such land uses will likely include hotels, restaurants, healthcare, and sports medicine facilities, professional offices, retail uses, high-density residential uses, and other supporting commercial uses. It is contemplated that such other uses will be proposed and approved either in conjunction with the sports campus itself or after development of the sports campus has been initiated. The total additional land area to be utilized for such purposes will be many times the size of the sports campus. This area shall be referred to as the Family Sports Capital of America. Again, we mirror this vision. Our project matches both the goal and the vision that was stated in our comp plan I've just quoted. At our neighborhood meeting, we received no negative comments. At the city's council meeting March 8th, a person got up and stated our concept plan and merit. Then he went on to say we did not conduct a traffic study and that our concept plan was not to scale. For the record, we did not do a traffic study. It's not required and was never promised. The city of Westfield did do their own traffic study of the entire 191st Street corridor, and they have plans to widen the corridor as would be required of a primary artery. The individual also questioned the commercial district acreage calculations. We mentioned that the concept plan was not to scale at our neighborhood meeting and that the individual attended. And again, acreage in the district is not required at this stage. That said, 51 acres will be commercial, 8 from the Briggs property, 8.5 from Weekly, and the balance from the Woods parcel. Now let's consider the highlights of the changes we've made to our PUD. You got the district plan, I guess we can talk from here. First of all, what we did, we have 3 entrances into the property. We realigned the west entrance going up here so we have equal access, thank you, We have equal access to, easy access rather, and eliminate traffic confusion by routing residential users up both sides of the property. I'll get to the concept plan again about the two plans. But we took out the, this isn't working. Can you show the district, former District 2? The single-family residential is now moved to District 4, and it's single-family, high-density homes called the North. And those two areas are highlighted. These will now be for-sale homes, and they blend in with the other area over here that is being circled. Other changes to the plan, we added a platform in the center of the fountain area for concerts or performances or just a gathering place. Then to the outside, you'll see gray areas at the top of the fountain on either side, right and left, east and west. And we've added those spaces, and we have adjoining patio areas around the southern edge of the fountain too, on both quadrants. Let's see. The park area, we have changed the language in the park area. And the park area, the major change there is that we will develop the park and it will not be turned over to the city. We have broken out the Sports Tech Center over here. Sorry, this isn't working. But has an additional permitted use. That's a change. And then we added a new character exhibit to more express the further illustrative architectural features we will be using in the District 1 area. And then getting to the two concept plans, in Exhibit C, we have two concept plans, A and B. We have a user that would prefer to be next to the racing facility, and it would be a corporate headquarters. We have the potential for that. We wanted to include two options for that. In case they do decide to come, we wanted to have that as a permitted use over there, and we show that on the concept plan B, and we don't have it on the concept plan A. But we do anticipate that that could be a possible use for us. So that's a change from previously. Districts 3 and 4, we want to make a commitment in the CCRs to not allow short-term rentals through the development and control phase of our single-family homes in District 3 and 4. And then in the commercial district, the 32 overlay zone sections, there hasn't been much change there regarding we'll follow the 32 overlay zone sections regarding, building size, architecture, and other miscellaneous items which apply to the development within District 1, the commercial district. Overall zoning defaults to the UDO in many cases in the residential districts 3 and 4 with limited exceptions. So this is up for your recommendation tonight to City Council, and I would ask for your affirmative vote. Thank you very much for your time tonight. If you have any questions, I'm happy to accommodate you.
Okay, thank you. We'll go around the commission seeking comments. We'll do it in reverse order from what we've done recently. We'll go from the end of the alphabet to the beginning, and we'll blend the present commissioners with the virtual commissioners. So we'll start with Cindy Spoljaric. Do you have comments you'd like to bring up tonight?
Just briefly, I'd like to thank the petitioner. I know I was one of the ones that had a lot of comments about the previous submittal, and a number of the items that I brought up were addressed, not all, but many of them. I remain concerned about several items in the plan, but this is an improvement from what I saw before. Again, still have reservations. I'll leave it at that. Thanks.
Thank you. We'll move on to Dave Schmitz. Victor McCarty is on deck.
No questions or comments. I appreciate the recent changes and nothing further.
Thank you. Victor, you weren't on deck very long. Andre is on deck now.
Yeah, I'm running a fever, so I won't say much tonight in regards to projects, but just previous comments of, the only problem I ever have is having high density housing. But otherwise, I voted for this project before, and I look to give it my favorable recommendation again. So thank you.
Thank you. Andre, and will be followed by Dr. Kelleher.
Nothing new to add, no questions or comments, thanks.
Okay. Dr. Kelleher and Mike will follow.
Thank you. I appreciate all the improvements. I still have a concern about the residential. And as this has evolved over several months, and we've also had things like North Point come in with the staff, and I think even the mayor saying we needed more commercial land, and we may need to redo our comp plan. That concerns me even more with this piece of property that is on 191st Street, a major arterial. And I think we should consider more commercial and less residential. So thank you.
Thank you. Mike and Randy will be on deck.
I'd like to thank the petitioner for all the changes that they've made. I think the project as it sits now is a whole lot better than it was initially. But however, I've also got concerns, continuing concerns regarding is this the highest and best use of the land, and also with respect to the density of the housing that's being proposed. So, thank you.
Thank you. Randy, and then Kristen will follow.
I think I previously stated on the record that I think it's a good-looking project. I appreciate the fact that the petitioner has continued to change things around. May not be perfect with what everybody wants, but I think it's the right project in the right location at the right time, and that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Kristen?
Thank you, Bob. I also want to thank the petitioners for all their hard work, because I know there's been a lot of effort put in to this, and I've tried to give some feedback. I'm going to share some concerns of the other commissioners that had concerns, but specifically on that middle area where I'm still not seeing this as the amenity for Grand Park that I think we need as far as the walkability and the safety for the youth that will definitely be using something that's this close in proximity. So that's my only comment tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the collaborative effort that I think has improved the project, and that we are at a point where it warrants a vote of the commission to recommend it to council. So if there isn't anybody that has any last-minute thoughts that they would like to bring up now, I'm looking for a motion to council on Woods Robinson Briggs PUD 2103-PUD-10.
I will make a motion to send 2103-PUD-10 Woods Robinson Briggs PUD to the city council with a positive recommendation.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, David. It's been moved and seconded. Staff, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Graham,
Yes.
Mr. Horke,
Yes.
Mr. Johns,
No,
Ms. Kelleher,
No,
Mr. Maui,
Yes.
Mr. McCarty,
Yes.
Mr. Schmitz,
Yes.
Ms. Spolger,
No.
Ms. Berkman.
No.
Motion carries 5-4.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Moving on, next item on our agenda is Crest, 2103-ODP-05 and 2103-SPP-05. It is here for a recommendation as well.
Plan Commission, for the record, Dane Crabtree with the Community Development Department. The items before you this evening are the primary plat and overall development plan for Crest, an 84-unit attached villa development at the northwest corner of 186th Street and Shady Nook Road. This item received a public hearing at the March 1st Plan Commission meeting where there were no public comments. After some revisions, the plans are now compliant and are ready for your approval. Andy Wirt of Churchill and Antrim, on behalf of the petitioner, is present this evening. He does not plan to make a presentation, but is available for questions, as might if there are any of staff. Thank you.
Thank you. If there is no petitioner presentation, then we'll open the floor to commissioner comments, starting this time with Dave Schmidt.
No questions or comments, thanks.
Thank you. Victor McCarty.
No questions or comments. Thank you.
Thanks. Andre Maui.
None here, thanks.
Moving along. Dr. Kelleher.
Nothing from me, thank you.
Thank you. Mike Johns.
No questions, no comments.
Very good. Randy Graham.
No questions or comments.
Thank you. Kristen Berkman.
None, thank you.
I'll make it unanimous. No questions or comments. Do we have a motion? There is one staff condition to include.
I'll make a motion that we approve the primary plat and overall development plan 2013 SPP 05 and 2013 ODP 05 Bell Crest, with the condition that all necessary approvals be obtained from the Westfield Public Works Department and Hamilton County Surveyor's Office prior to the issuance of an improvement location permit.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second?
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Will staff please call a roll?
Mr. Horke,
Yes.
Mr. Johns,
Yes.
Dr. Kelleher,
Yes,
Mr. Maui,
Yes.
Mr. McCarty,
Yes.
Mr. Schmitz,
Yes.
Ms. Boljeric,
Yes.
Ms. Berkman,
Yes,
Mr. Graham.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Very good. Moving on. Our next item is Chatham Villages multifamily project, 2103-ODP-01 and 2103-SPP-01. It is here for a approval of the primary plat and overall development plan and has one staff condition. Staff condition.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President, members of the Planning Commission. For the record, Kevin Todd with the Community Development Department. I'm pinch hitting here for Pam Howard on her 3 items that she was going to represent tonight, so please be nice to me because I may not have all the answers. But this item before you this evening for overall development plan and primary plat approval is for 2 lots and 1 block on a little bit over 40 acres in the Chatham Hills Planned Unit Development. Property is located on the south side of 196th Street, east of Tomlinson Road, and was incorporated into Chatham Hills PUD in a 2019 amendment. This item received a public hearing back on March the 1st, and is before you this evening for approval. All items are fully compliant. The petitioner is here and is available for questions on the call here, but does not plan to present. Thanks.
Thank you. With no presentation from the petitioner, we will go through commissioner comments, starting with Victor McCarty.
No questions or comments. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Andre Maui.
No questions or comments.
Thank you. Dr. Kelleher.
nothing from me, thank you.
Very good. Mike Johns.
No questions, no comments.
Thank you. Randy Graham.
No comments, no questions.
Thank you. Kristen Berkman.
none, thank you.
Thank you. Cindy Spoljaric.
No, thank you.
Excellent. Dave Schmitz.
None from me, thanks.
Thank you. Once again, unanimous. I have no questions or comments to offer tonight as well. So we are looking for a motion to approve with the included condition.
I would like to make a motion to approve 2103-ODP-01, 2103-SPP-01, Chatham Villages multifamily project with the following conditions. Approve the primary plat, all necessary approvals be obtained from the Westfield Public Works Department, Hamilton County Surveyors prior to the issuance of an improvement location permit.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Second. Dave Schmitz, thank you. It has been moved and seconded. Will staff please call the roll?
Mr. Johns,
Yes.
Dr. Kelleher,
Yes,
Mr. Maui,
Yes.
Mr. McCarty,
Yes.
Mr. Schmitz,
Yes.
Ms. Boljeric,
Yes.
Ms. Berkman,
Yes,
Mr. Graham,
Yes.
and Mr. Horke.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item next is Carramore, 2103-ODP-03 and 2103-SPP-03, also before us for an approval and has the customary comment.
Yeah, thanks again. Mr. President, for the record, Kevin Todd, Community Development Department. This item is another primary plat and overall development plan that received a public hearing at your March 1st meeting. This is for 83 acres, 83 lots, single-family lots on 40 acres in the Carramore PUD, located at the northwest corner of 199th Street and Horton Road. Once again, the petitioner is available for any questions that you have this evening. Both of these items are fully compliant this evening and ready for approval. Thanks.
Thank you. And there is no petitioner presentation, correct?
Correct.
All right. So we will go around the commission, starting with Andre Maui.
No questions or comments.
Very good. Dr. Kelleher?
I would just like to applaud them for having so many of these lots faced to open space. They'll be premium lots, and I think it's great. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike Johns?
No questions, no comments.
Thank you. Randy Graham?
No questions, comments?
Thank you. Kristen Berkman?
None, thank you.
Very good. Cindy Spoljaric?
None, thanks.
Thank you. Victor McCarty?
No questions or comments. Thank you.
Thank you. I echo Dr. Kelleher's comment. I think the creative use of the layout of this site that creates a lot of what she just accurately termed premium lots is a really neat use of how to put that many residences together with nice common space and attractive lots. So looking forward to seeing that in our inventory of options for our future residents. So we are now ready for a motion on this. Anyone virtually can also feel free to jump right in.
Okay, I'll jump in.
Thank you, Randy.
I would like to make a motion to approve 2103-ODP-03, 2103-SPP-03, Carramore, with the following condition. All necessary approvals be obtained from the Westfield Public Works Department and Hamilton County surveyors prior to the issuance of an improvement location permit.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
This is Kelleher. I will second.
Thank you. Good to hear from you again. Staff, will you please call the roll?
Dr. Kelleher?
Yes. Sorry, I couldn't get to my mute button in time.
Too anxious to mute yourself.
Mr. Maui?
Yes.
Mr. McCarty?
Yes.
Mr. Schmitz?
Yes.
Ms. Spoljaric?
Yes.
Ms. Berkman?
Yes,
Mr. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. Horke?
Yes?
Mr. Johns?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Excellent. Thank you. Last item of business is the Community Bible Fellowship Church, 2103-ODP-04 and 2103-SPP-04. It also is here for a approval with the same condition as previous items.
Yep, thank you, Mr. President. Once again, for the record, Kevin Todd, Community Development Department. This item before you this evening is for the primary plat and overall development plan of the property on the screen here, which is about 35 acres, located in the Single Family 2 District, SF2 District, at the northeast corner of 161st Street and Oak Road. This is for essentially a 2-lot subdivision for the possibility of future development on the property. The item before you this evening, or both items before you this evening, are fully compliant with the plating requirements. I just want to make a quick note to the extent that, well, any future development, so this is currently being proposed or thought of to be a potential site for a church. That is not the proposal before you tonight. It is simply to plat the property tonight. Any development plan, future development plan will be on a future consent agenda. So to the extent that there's any landscaping questions or concerns, I know that was a discussion back at the public hearing on March 1st. Those will be addressed at the detailed development plan stage. So with that, these items are compliant this evening and ready for your approval.
Thank you. And there is no petitioner presentation tonight, correct?
Correct.
Here for answers to questions should they come by, though. All right, we'll go through the commission again, starting with Dr. Kelleher.
No questions or comments, thank you.
Thank you. Mike Johns.
No questions, no comments.
Very good. Randy Graham.
No questions, comments, Mr. President.
Thank you. Kristen Berkman.
None, thank you.
Thank you. Cindy Spoljarek.
Well, this is a super challenging site, I will say that, and it's nice to see something, even if it's just primary plat moving through, so thank you. No comments.
Thank you. Dave Schmitz.
None, thanks.
Victor McCarty.
No questions or comments. Thank you, sir.
Andre Maui.
None from me, thanks.
I'll make it unanimous on this one as well. That being the case, no questions for anybody to answer. We are ready for a motion.
I will make a motion to approve 2103-ODP-04 and 2103-SPP-04, Community Bible Fellowship Church for the following condition. All necessary approvals be obtained from the Westfield Public Works Department and Hamilton County Surveyors prior to the issuance of an improvement location permit.
I'll second
Thank
that.
you. Second by Andre Maui this time. Thank you. Staff, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Maui,
Yes.
Mr. McCarty,
Yes.
Mr. Schmitz,
Yes.
Ms. Spoljarek,
Yes.
Ms. Berkman,
Yes?
Mr. Graham,
Yes.
Mr. Horke,
Yes.
Mr. Johns,
Yes.
Dr. Keller.
Yes,
Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you. There are no public hearing items, and all other agenda items are continued to a future meeting, which takes us to reports and comments, starting with the Community Development Department.
Nothing at this time. Thanks.
Well, we're just moving right along. Plan Commission members, anybody first, I guess, here in the room that has anything that they'd like to bring to the
I
group
feel,
tonight?
I feel like I should come up with something really controversial here tonight, but still nothing.
Still nothing. All right, that's good. All right.
This
any-
is Cindy. I could bring you the council report if you're interested.
Okay, and I was going to virtual next to see if anybody had comments to bring up, including that. So let's hear from the council liaison. Thank you.
Fantastic. We approved an ordinance that was concerning the Village Park TIF. We have an agreement with the county on that TIF, and they are refunding the bonds. They now have a AAA rating with the county, and they're getting better rates. So we're doing that. We approved a revitalization area allowing the Westport Whiskey to seek abatements. We approved the 3 PUD-related items that were given recs at our prior APC meeting, and the resolution approving the amending declaratory resolution, the APC order to the RDC, if you guys recall that, we approved. We held a hearing for Phase 2 for the Lakes of Westfield annexation, and we introduced the Sycamore PUD, Davis PUD amendment, Bonterra PUD, and a North Point PUD Amendment 4, so we'll be seeing those soon here. That's it.
Thank you. I believe we did have a BZA meeting in between last meeting and now, so we actually have a BZA report, yes?
Yes, we
All
do.
right.
We had several items. First, Menards sought a variance of standards to amend. They had been in here in front of BZA last year, kind of absorbing some of the space of that self-storage facility that they bought directly to the east of Menards. They made some refinements to that and needed to adjust the variances that they had obtained last year, and that was approved. A person in the Davis PUD, long ditch just south of 156, sought a variance to encroach 5 feet into the rear yard setback for a pergola and deck, a retractable, smart pergola and deck. That was approved. Ben's Barbecue, Ben Hoffman, the barbecue place that's just on the north side of 32, just east of Maine, sought approval for a temporary structure that is that he uses for the barbecue smoker things. There's a trailer that they use now, and they're putting a more permanent, it's still a temporary structure, I guess, but kind of a shed-type structure instead of the trailer. And that was approved. A variance of standard petition at 140 East 161st Street, so north side of 161st, just east of Urban, what's Noah's place on the north side?
Urban Vines.
Not Vines, the other one, his other.
Urban Seeds.
Urban Farmer, thank you. Anyway, this petitioner had a accessory structure that the fireplace was 2 feet into the setback. He needed a variance to get that approved. That was granted. Zanuck Corporation is on Commerce Drive, the commercial subdivision north on Dartown Road, north of 32. They needed a variance for outside storage and an established front yard. They have a weird property that actually has 4 front yards, so everything's a front yard. And to have their storage, which is entirely surrounded by a nice brick fence, they needed to get a variance for that. That was granted. GPG Properties sought a variance of development standards for a home that they're rehabbing, actually just a few lots here to the west of us on Penn Street, 306 Penn. And he needed some setback variances and lot area variances because it's a non-conforming lot from a house built in the 40s, I believe. And that was granted. And the final item was a pool location variance in Walnut Ridge, kind of Cary Road and 169th Street area. And that was going about 11 feet into a 30-foot setback, and that was approved to accommodate a swimming pool. And that was it.
Very good, thank you. If there is nothing else to come before us, looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Can staff please call the roll?
Mr. McCarty? Mr. McCarty?
Hello, Victor.
My mute button kept on disappearing. Sorry. Yes.
We were afraid you didn't want to adjourn.
Yeah.
Mr. Schmitz?
Yes.
Ms. Spoljarek?
Yes.
Ms. Berkman?
Yes.
Mr. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. Horkey?
Yes.
Mr. Johns?
Yes.
Dr. Kelleher?
Yes.
And Mr. Maui.
Yes.
We are adjourned
Thank you. Good night all, and see you in a couple weeks.
at 7:39.